to this video which will scientifically investigate exactly what the tremolo on a guitar does to the pitch. As you can see, this is a Jazzmaster-style. In spite of the snowflakes and cherry petals and other fancy decorations, it's actually got the traditional trem and the traditional bridge with the threaded saddles that buzz and all that. And as you kind of notice at the beginning, and as you probably subconsciously at least realize, when you play a chord on a guitar and use a trem, it kind of goes all wobbly and out of tune, but why? Well, that's what we're going to check. So I have a tuner running here on the screen, and first I'm going to check that we are more or less where we should be. Yep, we are. Okay, so what does this do? You know that the trem makes the pitch go up and down, but does it affect the strings equally? So let's test that. Start with the low E here, push it down till it's an in-tune E flat. I will try to hold this steady. If I was going to be doing a proper scientific investigation, I would use spacers, maybe C-clamps, but this is just a kind of a fun version for a video. So you can see that the A and D strings get bent by a little more than a half step. The G is just about dead on a half step. The B gets again bent down more, and the high E string doesn't even get it gets less, considerably less than even a quarter step. So that's interesting, and it's as you can see unequal. Basically, the bigger strings get bent more, but the G gets bent a lot more than the D. So this is the stock 10 gauge strings, so the G is plain. It would be very interesting to rerun this test with a higher gauge. Let's now go further and bend the high E. This is about as far as it will push down before the spring bottoms out with the current setup. There we go, with a half step down. And you can see that the B string is almost a whole step down. The G is almost a minor third. The D is all about a whole step. A is a little bit more than a whole step, and the low E string gets bent by almost 1.5 steps. And let's also, just for fun, see just how out of tune this came back. Yeah, the G's are a little flat. The beat also. So yeah, you can see that dive bombing will make things go out of tune. And what can you do with this information? Well, I mean, I'm going to be emulating this behavior in a sample library of this guitar, which I'm also working on during this time. But if you're not doing that, if you're just a guitarist, what can you do with this knowledge? Well, one thing is, if you know that, for example, the wound strings and plain strings behave pretty differently, you can, and there's also not that much difference between the A and the D, so you know, if you play a double stop and you know do that, it will kind of more or less stay in tune across these two strings, but across these two it will go much more bad on you. And the other cool thing that you can do with this is play the same note on two strings, bend it, bends by different amounts, and it kind of becomes this bigger, richer sound, a little like the detune knob on a synthesizer with unison oscillators, and you can even do that across 3 strings at once, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I will do mysterious scientific things with this knowledge, but if you're actually playing guitar the traditional way, you can also do it, get some use out of this knowledge.